There, it's Hector Vasquez, and I'm super excited to be here with you once again to really talk about something that I think is very valuable. I mean, a lot of us saw the fight against Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm over the weekend, and really one of the things that I think that really came out of that was just an enormous lesson, that I think we can all apply when it comes to our businesses and with our lives. And so what I want to share with you are some of the great things that I really saw from the interviews that Holly Holm did after the fight that I think that we can really apply if we're going to really have the mindset of a world-class performer when it comes to our businesses and with our lives. So let me dive in to the 4 steps of a world-class performer. The 4 steps of a world-class performer. So step number 1, a massive belief. And the belief that she had was not just a belief in herself. It was a belief that she talked about that was greater than herself. It was the belief that other people had in her. It was the belief that, you know what, I can't let my team down. You know, the people that are on my side, my friends, my family, the coaches, the people that have been there on my side, you know, they believe in me. And so the belief that she was fighting for something greater than just herself gave her the fuel, gave her the energy to really execute in the octagon. Second step that I saw that I thought was absolutely brilliant. Hard work. She talked about the massive hours that went into really preparing for the fight. And she would talk about having good days and bad days. And she said, you know what? If I would start in the morning and I knew my game was off, I'd finish out the workout, I'd go inside my car and I'd tell myself, you know what, if I perform like this in front of Ronda, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. And she'd turn around, she'd regroup herself, get back in there in the afternoon, and she'd have a flawless practice. And so the work is indispensable. It's almost like, as they say, the law of correspondence. So as you sow within, as without. She was putting in the time that she needed to be able to be ready and prepared for how she was going to perform the day of the fight. So basically what I want to share with you guys is that what's praised in public is actually done in private. What's praised in public is actually done behind closed doors. So when we're really looking at our businesses and our lives, it's not about the things that we're doing in front of others. It's the things that we're doing when nobody else is looking. Something to really think about. Third step, the power of now. You know, one of the things that she talked about was it didn't matter what Ronda had done before. Didn't matter what I had done before. Didn't matter all those hours that I spent in the gym. I have to perform right now. I got today. And, you know, I've noticed that so many of us are really resting on what happened yesterday, the failures of yesterday, the successes of yesterday. And you know what? None of that really matters unless you're really putting something in practice now that's helping you perform towards that next attainment, towards that next goal. And so it doesn't really matter what happened yesterday. What's mattering is how you're executing on your plans, on the things that you want for your business and your life in the present, in the moment. Living with that sense of urgency will get you the results that you want in the now. Because you want to know what the future looks like? Look at what you're doing in the present. That's a very important component to having the mindset of a world-class performer. Fourth step, the humility. She had every right probably to talk some trash. But in none of her interviews did she do any of that. You know, she kept a very humble approach. She was grateful for the opportunity to fight her. She was even saying, you know, she's a great, world-class performer. And you know what? She definitely deserves a rematch. And wow, you know, especially after the way Ronda had been talking a lot of game, you know, smoking a lot of emotion about how she was going to get killed, you know, and even right before the fight, she didn't want to shake gloves. And you know what? Holly Holm decided she was going to have a higher level of world class by displaying humility. And so all the great ones are truly humble. And it's almost probably like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And this is true, you know, humility will come knocking at the door unless we practice humility. And I really saw that in Holly Holm. And I think, you know, a lot of us can be practicing more humility when it comes to, you know, showing that appreciation towards the people in our life that are with us, that are supporting us. Maybe those team members, right? Maybe those managers, maybe those board of directors. Maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your husband. But you gotta find ways to show your appreciation, to show the humility, because every great champion does. So I really want to share with you guys that if you put these 4 steps into practice, you will reach a level of rare air of world class that is untouched. The mindset of a world-class performer is at your grasp. Put into practice, go out there and reach your dreams. Until then, believe in you and shine brightly.